Feminism can be considered many different things, but what is the true definition of feminism? More importantly, what does it look like from the male perspective? That's what we're talking about on today's introduction.
I've got to take it further! No! Goku! Times more!
In today's episode, I am joined by WarriorDan, or Dan, but WarriorDan on YouTube. Thank you for doing this today.
Thank you for having me.
How did you get started with your channel?
I started up on YouTube about a year or so ago. I started doing Team Fortress 2 gameplay videos, and I've slowly kind of extended to a variety of gameplay content and game reviews. I actually now work with a game review site, and I produce a lot of my content there.
Okay, so you're just mainly a gaming channel.
Mainly, yes, and I'm currently taking I'm going in for my associate's degree, and I plan on getting a master's degree in sociology.
All right, so yeah, you have, I guess, a lot of opinions on feminism. So let's just delve right into the topic then. What is your overall opinion on feminism? What is it to you?
Like, what defines feminism?
Exactly.
Feminism applies to the right for women to stand equal to men, and I think men and women, ideally in an idealistic world, should be treated equally with equal rights, equal pay, equal responsibility. It goes without saying, and I think that the first wave feminism kind of introduced the women's right to vote, and over time, feminism has kind of become more and more embroiled in political and social issues. And over time, it has deviated from being a cause to promote women's well-being to more so a subgroup of political activism with its own variations.
So it's kind of morphed into something else.
It's morphed into something else. I believe very strongly, like I have two sisters, I stand very, very firmly behind the ideal that women should be treated equally. I'm against rape, I'm against any violence against women. But at the same time, as feminism stands now, I don't think it's quite so much just about that as it is also promoting political agendas. I would
certainly agree with that, just a slight variation. I would think that it's kind of like turned into two separate categories. You got the regular feminists who want equal pay, equal rights, and no rape, obviously, and that's something I stand by as well. But then you have the radical feminists who want to be considered superior to men, and just basically what women had to deal with 50 years ago, 80 years ago, when they didn't have the right to vote, is what they want men to be treated as.
And that's where the great divide happens.
Yeah, and that's when things get crazy. And I think that's giving feminism an overall bad look, because you look at the small group of radical feminists who want to just change the world, and then you say that represents the entire agenda, which is not necessarily the case.
It's absolutely not the case, and what's interesting about radical feminism is it seems to have taken a strong hold in recent society. I think the more moderate feminists, like myself, I consider myself a traditional feminist. I believe in equal pay. I believe in equality among all races and among all genders. Well, or even transgender, or however you choose to identify yourself. But with radical feminists, I think they may be a smaller group, but they're definitely a lot more vocal than I think the larger body of feminism is, and so they've gained as somewhat of a notoriety, I guess would be the word online. They're the type that I tend to see more on social media and tend to engage with on Twitter and other forums, and they're the ones that tend to be, say, more aggressive than other kinds of feminists. Either you believe exactly what they believe, or you don't. There's no room for debate or questioning of ethics, and that I think is really the sad part.
I think we've established that radical feminism is something to worry about, but overall, when it comes to feminism, do you think that it's had an overall good impact on society? Whether it be feminism or radical feminism, what do you think?
I think both have had positive and negative impacts on society. I think that radical feminism has had more negative than positive, but at the same time, I embrace feminism, the core concept of it. I believe that everyone, regardless of gender or sexual preference or race or ethnic group, I believe everyone has a right to the same life expectations in our society. I just simply believe that. And I think that if feminism at its core believes that too, then I will follow it to the letter. And if it strays from that and it starts worrying about more of the group and what's good as far as censorship, once it starts going into those dangerous areas, I don't think there's any coming back.
Do you think that we'll ever get to a point where we don't need a feminist movement, that we'll have, men and women finally being equal in our society?
I think hopefully we will get to that point. It's like, should we need equal rights groups for African Americans or Asian Americans or various other ethnic groups? I really hope we get to a point as a society where we won't need that. I think we will at some point, though I do not think I will get to see it in this lifetime. I think it will be something that easily my grandchildren or my great-grandchildren might get to see, but I don't think that day will be coming anytime soon, because I think there's too much, it's too fresh in everybody's mind. Like, really, it's just starting with this generation that we're really starting to see equal treatment among ethnic minorities. We're just starting to see that. I mean, feminism just started in our parents' lifetime. I highly doubt we're going to see it end anytime sooner. It's probably going to take at least another 50 or 100 years before the dust settles, for good or bad.
I think we'll get to a point where gender roles aren't necessarily needed. Like, it's okay to sometimes take a more aggressive role, sometimes it's okay to take a more passive role. You get to a point where nobody's going to freak out if a woman, works 9 to 5 and a man is unemployed but is, working on their small business. You get to a point where you don't necessarily need to say that the man needs to do this, the woman needs to do that. We can look forward to that.
No double standards.
Yeah, the double standards. I think that eventually is going to go away. It has to go away in order for the feminist movement to work. And also what I worry about is a radical feminist. I mean, I feel like they're kind of backtracking and moving taking the feminist movement in the wrong direction. So that's going to stem the growth of it. But I do think, like you said, eventually we'll get to a point where we won't necessarily need it or as much, but there's a lot to be done.
I think we could definitely both agree that feminism has overall done some good things leading up to this point. The interesting question will be, how will it define our family lives and social roles in the years to come? And that's a question I look forward to seeing answered in the next few generations.
So you have a YouTube channel. Do you want to give your URL?
Yes, I do. I am WarriorDan. You can find me hopefully in the link in the description, hopefully. I post videos usually 2-3 times a week. Game reviews, let's plays, all of that. Check them out, please.
All right.
And have a good night. Stay awesome.
Thank you for doing this again. I am Angel Dodger, and I will see you next time. If you like this episode, check out my most recent episode on the left, which discusses why affirmative action is necessary. Also, check out my video in the middle, which discusses why people think it's okay to call women bitches. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.